Hello everyone, welcome back to Hermione Reads Comics. I'm Hermione and I read comics. Alright, so we're doing the review of the final issue of Alan Scott Green Lantern, and I am going to say this one thing. I don't have my tablet with me right now. It's currently recharging, but I wanted to get this video review out tonight and of course start uploading a couple of more videos. And all that. So, in this review, I'm going to be talking about a couple things that I did not like about this issue, and then I will give you my overall impression of this comic and all that. And I hope I remember a lot of it because I'm currently still recovering from that very long work week, and it's just only going to get longer because I'm working every day starting Saturday, because I'm going on vacation and all that jazz. So I understand that that's what I have to do, and I am not against that. And all right, so in Alan Scott's Green Lantern issue number 6, we have this battle between the Green Lantern and the Red Lantern. Alan Scott and the guy, I cannot pronounce his name, with the JSA. Now, I will say that I really did like Dr. Fate in this issue. I thought Dr. Fate was really good. My biggest issue is the fight was over even before it started. It was like done. Generally, if you're talking about superhero battles, they generally last for a couple of pages. And you have, it just seems like to me that Sheridan is not a fan of doing these long, drawn-out battles that people come to expect when you're talking about superheroes. And I'm going to say that the only other thing that had shorter, like, training, whatever you want to call it, was Miss Marvel, and that got people a little bit steamed off, because even if you look at, like, comic book movies like Shazam, which was, of course, the origin of Billy Batson becoming Shazam, his training sessions were a little bit longer than that of Miss Marvel. In this one, he kind of decided to adopt that really annoying thing where you have these two lanterns and they're fighting and stuff like that, and literally it's over and nobody dies at all in it. I don't even remember if they even found the submarine, which was like, okay, annoying. And then you kind of have it push more to like the future. I will say I did get a kick out of Alan Scott basically saying, oh yes, I got my own file, and it's about Hoover, and he is very well known. I'm pretty sure it was common knowledge, but it is very well known today that Hoover liked to dress up in women's clothing. He did drag. And if it had come out, it would have destroyed his entire career. So he just liked to dig dirt on other people while keeping an eye on if somebody was going to find out his dirty little secret. But yeah, and that's the thing I did like about that. It did bring that up, which I thought was really good. But the battles were over before they began. Literally, if you're going to supposedly have these battle between these two lanterns, you definitely have it more long-winded, which tells me that Alan Scott and that one guy are not actually connected with their particular core. Some people say that Alan Scott wasn't actually a Green Lantern. He is not. He's not considered a Green Lantern. I don't know. I really don't know, but I will say that the comic book ending was very flat, and I just did not like that. I did not like the fact that it just let me really go back a little bit. It just felt like that there was no planning at all in this comic book at all. It jumped around a lot, and it just seems like to me that they were forcing this history on this character that never had it, and it shows in the quality of the story. You know, if you have a character that you established back in, say, 2009 or 1999 as being gay, then yeah, it would be like, okay, yeah, since this year this character has been gay, so now we can, you know, yeah, okay, let's do a story and all this. And it's just it really is annoying, and it kind of makes me shake my head, like, what is the purpose of this series? And yes, there were things in it that I liked, but there was a lot of things in it that I did not like. I did not like the battle scenes. I did not like the overall quality of the comic book. I did not like that. But you know, it's from Earth 2, and thankfully it is not the main continuity of DC Comics. We already have a Green Lantern that does it better than Alan Scott's Green Lantern, and that is the comic book issues that I'm definitely interested in, is the now Green Lantern. Oh, pardon me, guys. So overall, I'm going to give this issue 2 stars. It is not a great issue, and I did not enjoy it, except for the whole thing with Alan Scott hitting right back at Hoover. So I know I did my overall. What's my overall impressions of this? I mentioned it, that there were things about the comic book I did like, and there was things about the comic book series I did like, and there was things about the comic book series I did not like. The feeling of it just feels like that if you're trying to create this rich story, you fail at it miserably, because you don't know what is needed to make a rich story. And if this is the thing about it, is people can sit down and write, and you know, I write books myself, and even I feel like that I am lackluster in the rich and vivid storytelling. I am not going to claim to be a master at writing a story, but I do feel like that as I practice it, I will in fact get better. But the thing is, when you lack the ability to create a story that's engaging and draws you in, it shows. Like, you look at Neil Gaiman, for instance. Neil Gaiman is a prime example of a person who can create this rich and detailed story that draws you in and traps you and makes you want to know what's going to happen next. His books of magic are a really good prime example of this, along with Sandman and his other books, his other titles. I just feel like that the writer for that I think the writer was Tim Sheridan. I don't have it on me, but I feel like that, let's say it is Tim Sheridan. Tim Sheridan does not have the ability to write a rich and engrossing and wonderful story. He goes and he relies on pleading and begging people to buy his comic instead of letting the story speaks for itself. And I think that is one of the huge turnoffs for me in this. Was I just did not like the lackluster or the inability to create a story that could draw me in and keep me there. And the fact is that the first, I think, 3 issues of it, it was like I'm kind of on the fence at 50-50. You should have pretty much guessed it meant that I wasn't really 100% sold on this story. I like, what's that one? Spirit World. Spirit World was a excellent comic book. You got this rich, you had writers that are part of that culture, part of that Chinese culture, and their ability to weave and create something that's beautiful was something that really drew me into it. And some people say, oh yeah, she's non-binary, the character's non-binary and stuff like that. I will be very blunt about this, is that while yes, the character is non-binary, the storytelling and the richness and the vivid colors is what drew me into it. Yes, you have Constantine and you have our little non-binary character. And I really liked the richness of the story. I liked how it wove and how it just formed this beautiful ball of it was just a beautiful ball of sunshine and light and stars and all this stuff. And I really happen to like this story because it draws you in, and it's the panels. It's like how the colors just pop, and they're just a treat for the eyes. And it's this beautiful culture, and its mythologies and its traditions that just come through to you. This one didn't have that. This one had no richness. Yes, I loved Arkham Asylum. I loved seeing Arkham Asylum that wasn't Batman the Animated Series Arkham Asylum and stuff like that. And you kind of wonder, does Tim Sheridan have any idea of what really psychiatrists really say? Obviously not. Now, I wasn't around during that time, so I don't know how psychiatrists in the 1950s or 1940s talked. But I kind of feel like that he was kind of guessing how they talked, not how they might have talked. And stuff. And also you get this kind of feeling that the psychiatrist doesn't even sound like that he's went to school. There was no medical terms that were used in that issue. None of that. Just it looked like he didn't pick up a book that kind of was the norm that psychiatrists back in the 1920s and 30s and 40s read from, which is kind of like, y'all, if you don't know how to talk like a psychiatrist, or you know how to write someone in your panel that talks like a psychiatrist, you suck at that. But yeah, it's it's something else. It really is. It really is something else. But like I said, overall, you have Spirit World that's got a non-binary main character that the authors do a beautiful job in this world, and you got that. No. Spirit World was better than Alan Scott's Green Lantern. Trust me on this, it was a lot better. But yeah, overall, the series is 2 stars. I do like the artwork, and I did like Dr. Fate kicking ass, but the rest of it was definitely not my cup of tea. Alright, speaking of the Spirit World, I believe I reviewed issues 1 and 2 of that beautifully done comic. I will get around to reading issue number 3, and I will be doing reviews of those issues. But as I said, yeah. I'm sorry, because I'm like halfway tired. But like I said, or I will be saying this, and I'll be very clear about this. You got to be able to write well, and you got to not make someone's sexuality the cornerstone of who they are, especially if you're writing a Green Lantern, because it's about all of these Green Lanterns have overcome a fear of theirs to get the attention of whoever hands it, like the Guardians. I believe it's Guardians. Anyways, yeah. So another thing about it is that if you look at like Hal Jordan was a better Green Lantern than Alan Scott, and I think they consider him to be the first Green Lantern of Earth. So, yeah, I'm gonna Google up and see if Alan Scott was actually a Green Lantern or if it was just something that he adopted. I don't know, but it seems like to me that only like Dr. Fate only really had the powers. I could be wrong. Yeah, I am wrong. Flash had powers. Another thing I want to say is Alan Scott Green Lantern was done better in the Justice Society of America. I did actually start reading that series last year, and I forgot I think I was on issue 3 when I left it, but I will tell you, definitely was much better, and everything. So I also will continue reviews of that series as well, because I do kind of want to finish it. So yeah, so I will see you guys around. Until next time, be well.